What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard youth, will come at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today, man, I've got a little bit different stuff than Jason. All right, he's got rest of the season. I'm going week to week. I'm living week to week here, people. So should you. Probably, I don't know, greater than 50% of you out there are fighting for playoffs. So that's what I'm looking at. Jason's looking at rest of the season, Mr. Playoffs over here. But I've got two starts, man, that you probably do not plan on starting this week, and two players you plan on starting that you should bench. Jason's got some players that he thinks that you should hold on to for the rest of the season, and he's got some players that he thinks that you should cut off your team entirely. So that is the show for today. But before we get into all that, I mean, I did see, the only news I saw was Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to miss more time. So Michael Wilson should be pumped up. And then what else, man? Michael Wilson's going to be one of the waiver wire pickups of the year. And then Adam Thielen getting waived. I don't care where he goes.
Justin Herbert had surgery on his hand.
Saw that. They said he's wearing a Nintendo Power Glove for the rest of the season. So, hey.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I wouldn't mind that. What's that one movie, Jason, where it's all about that one rich-ass kid, and he's got all the Nintendo gear? It's in the 80s. I can't remember what it's called, but it's all about that video game Nintendo tournament. I thought I was the best Halo player in the world, Jason, until I started playing online.
Damn, dude, now you got me tripping. I want to know. I want to Google that, like, rich-ass kid from the 80s with all the Nintendo stuff. Movie.
All right. Hey, you can still play Halo 1 online, I'm pretty sure. Those fools were one-shot sniping people from across the map on Prison Break? Wait, Prison Break? Jail Cell? What was that? What was the map that we always liked?
Wasn't it Prison?
It was Prison. All right, there you go.
With the 3 tiers, the 3 levels.
Yeah, I've got 3 tiers right here to shed. Lamar Jackson. All right, I'm gonna. This is not clickbait, even though I was like, man, telling people to bench Lamar Jackson at this point in the year is insane. But he has scored fewer than 10 standard fantasy points in 3 consecutive games. Prior to the season in his career with 20-plus pass attempts, Jackson has had 3 sub-10-point games total ever. So it's like, well, how long has he been in the league, man? Like 5 years? It's happened 3 weeks in a row, dude. He's obviously still injured. So he's matched his career number in 3 consecutive games. Pittsburgh has allowed the 4th most rushing yards over the last 3 games. So, and I just saw a tweet coming out. The Ravens want to run the hell out of Derrick Henry. They increase the workload. We're getting later on in the year. Lamar has not thrown for over 236 yards in each of the last 3 games. And then I went back and I was like, how has he done versus Pittsburgh? In the last, 4 games versus Pittsburgh, 1 passing touchdown, 0 passing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns. Then the Baltimore scores versus Pittsburgh, 17, 18, 17, 17, 16, 14, 16. So this is historically a low-scoring game, Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Even when Baltimore is insane, offensively wise, like last couple of years, it's still low-scoring games. The over and under is a low 43.5 with Pittsburgh getting 5.5 points. So to me, Lamar Jackson is probably going to score 15 or fewer points. I don't know who's on your bench, but I've got a quarterback later that's on a lot of people's benches that you should be starting. How do you feel about benching Lamar Jackson this week, Jason?
Yeah, I was almost thinking this is such a good one to put for the rest of the season because I have conversations with people in my that I work with who have Lamar Jackson and they're fed up with him. They're fed up. I mean, I have him in my dynasty league and I'm like, oh, he's a guaranteed start. We have to start this guy no matter what every week. And now I'm thinking about am I going to take him out and put in Trevor Lawrence? Is that what I got to do here? Because I kept thinking that the Ravens were going to run it back this year because, everyone came back. But it's not the same team. Not the same Lamar Jackson.
Let's see here, Jason. You say Trevor Lawrence? I was like, how has Trevor? I know he started ripping the ball, 3 touchdowns. He's like the new Jameis Winston lately. He's pretty. Yeah, I mean, what, dude? 21 points, 16 points? That's not a bad idea. At home versus Indianapolis is pretty bad matchup for Trevor Lawrence. But that's the conversation that we're having about Lamar Jackson. So that's a good point, Jason.
Yeah, dude. It's a 4th round pickup Lamar Jackson this year, but not playing like it at all.
And wasn't he number 1 fantasy points per game quarterback last year? Something like that.
I think he was. I think he just beat out Josh Allen last year.
So huge downgrade. And I think it's all injury related. And maybe next year you get a discount on him and can pick him up and start him then. All right, Jason, you've got a bench, and it is my dynasty starting quarterback. So I'm not very happy about this. Bo Nix.
Well, that's funny because that's how I was with Lamar Jackson. I'm like, he's on my dynasty team, and I'm like, I'm not happy about it. But after watching, I waited till the Monday night game or the Sunday night game before I did this because I wanted to see how he would do. And once again, he disappointed. 17 points versus the Commanders, who allow the 7th most points to quarterbacks. He has had a very underwhelming season this year. Top 12 quarterback weekly finishes only 4 times this season, and they were against shitty teams like Cincinnati, Dallas, and the Giants. His best game where he was a top 12 quarterback was, I think, week 2 against the Colts. The Colts have a pretty good defense. He did great. And week 2, and other than that, underperforming. 18th best strength of schedule rest of the season. Next game is at Las Vegas. Week 10 versus the Raiders, he scored 6 points.
Holy shit.
Then he has Green Bay, who gives up 13 points to quarterbacks. Then he plays the Jaguars, which can be a good matchup for Knicks. But then he has Kansas City, and I don't know why I said but he has Kansas City in Week 17, where the last time they played, he only scored 11 points versus the Chiefs. All right, so the Broncos in general have been a disappointing for fantasy. Fantasy pros show Broncos do not have a tight end, running back, wide receiver, and top 12 in points per game. Knicks is quarterback 12 at the moment, but I doubt he finished the season as top 12. So he has the potential to injure season because he's just not playing like he's supposed to be. I think moving forward, if I know it's kind of hard to say because you probably got Bo Nix. I think he went around 6th or 7th round, but if you have a backup, I mean, I think you do not play Knicks for the rest of the year, maybe against the Jaguars. Even in our home league, Tyler, the person who has Bo Nix on their team, they're not going to make playoffs either.
Yeah. And dude, he has been killing your team because it's you start him, his floor. I mean, I cannot believe he at home versus Vegas, he had 6 fantasy points. Now you look at when he did well, he usually gets rushing touchdowns. He hasn't had one of those in a month and a half. Yeah, 39 points against the Giants, 23 points plus the Dallas Cowboys when they were terrible, and then 27 versus Cincinnati. He did in the beginning of the year do well against Indianapolis, but I mean, you have to have super easy matchups. And now you would circle Las Vegas as a super easy matchup, but dude, at home he did so bad. It's crazy. But he's still throwing the ball a ton, 45 times, 37 times, 50 times. So he is just being super inefficient right now. And dude, like you said, Green Bay in the playoffs, Jacksonville, and then at Kansas City in the championship. So those are terrible matchups versus Kansas City a couple weeks, or 2 weeks ago, 11 fantasy points. So yeah, Jason, probably rest of the season. I mean, I've got to start him because Dynasty, all the quarterbacks. Somebody did drop JJ McCarthy. Maybe I could pick him up, but he's in JJ McCarthy territory almost. So
yeah, even this season or last season, his completion percentage was 66%. This season, it's 61%. So it's just something. I've been very frustrated with the Broncos because I was very high on RJ Harvey this year, and just there was even there was almost a chance if Cortland Sutton didn't play well last week, he was going to be on this list too.
Yeah, and Cortland Sutton had one of the best matchups of the week last week, so I was glad that he actually did something. I think the first half he did not do anything. Then he turned it up. So yeah. Dude, Bo Nix, how do you feel about him next season, Jason?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I think that
this was the season where it was second year under Sean Payton. He did so well last year. I think maybe now because of how he played, he's not going to go in the 6th or 7th round. So you could pick him up a little bit later, which would be nice.
He's got to be your second quarterback. Would you want him to be your starting quarterback next season? You know what I'm saying?
As of right now, no.
I know. So
no.
I had Michael Penix and Bo Nix in Dynasty. I was like, oh, I'm going to get some sleeper quarterbacks. Now look, they got no knees, man. One's got no knees. One can't score more than 10 fantasy points. Sucks. Maybe I should pick up JJ McCarthy, man. It's crazy. All right. Jason, next up, Dallas Goedert. That fool was winning people a lot of weeks. He has not scored 10 plus PPR points in 4 straight games. It's getting to the point where I would not start him. It seems like this all started when AJ Brown just threw a bitch fit, and now look at this, dude. It's all going to AJ Brown. 28 or fewer reception yards in 5 of the last 6. So we need touchdowns here. And then let's like, just looking at yards, the Chargers, I was going to talk about the Clippers, have allowed the 6th fewest yards to tight ends, man. 486 all season. So that's like, what, 50 yards a game or something like that? They've allowed the fewest receptions to tight ends, or 4th fewest, at 46. So people don't really target their tight ends against the Chargers. They've allowed 6 reception touchdowns to tight ends. That's tied for 7th most. So if Dallas Goedert is going to do anything, he needs to catch a touchdown. But the odds are he's not going to get many receptions, and he's not going to get very much yards. I mean, what did I say? 28 or fewer. So we're looking at maybe 2 points from yards, and like maybe 3 points or 2 points from reception. So you're looking at 5 points, and then you need a touchdown. Holy shit. So over and under for the game is only a 40.5. So super low scoring game. The Chargers are getting 3 points versus the Eagles, but Vegas sees this as a defensive game, low scoring. And what this season's telling us about the Chargers, they don't allow a ton of points, a lot of receptions or yards to the tight end. So Dallas Goedert has to score a touchdown, or he's literally going to be messing your starting lineup up.
Yeah, since week 6, where he had 9 receptions, he's had 3, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2 receptions, 2 receptions. He was very efficient early on, but that efficiency is hard to maintain, and it looks like it's finally starting to break off, especially when you got AJ Brown bitching all the time now.
Ramondre Stevenson, Jason. He just had to screw it up for Trayvon. It was nice being a Trayvon Henderson owner for what, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks? That was pretty nice. So, but yeah, Goedert, I just noticed a lot of people starting him still. Like if you look at starting percentage, still kind of high. So, dude, just go elsewhere. I mean, I was picking up Dalton Schultz. There's a lot of tight ends out there that I'd rather start. And hey, Jason, remember how we said to trade for Kyle Pitts? Did you see what he did last week?
Yeah, he put up some, he got, I think, 11 points.
Yeah, 3 games with what's his name, Kirk Cousins, and he's led in targets every single game. So
yeah.
All right, Jason. So that's it for the bench. Let's go to the start or keep. So Jason wants to keep this dude on his lineup the rest of the season, and I saw that this guy had a good matchup, and I almost put him on my good matchup show. But I was like, dude, I can't tell people to start Adoni Mitchell. Like, his floor is 1 point. So now, after this, dude, he's done well for like 3 weeks in a row or 2 ever since he got to the Jets. So I like this pick, Jason.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy when I was like looking at it, but I think it's just like, it's basically the reason why I wanted Garrett Wilson so bad in the offseason is because they have no one else to throw the ball to. And apparently Tyrod Taylor likes this guy, and he's throwing the ball to him and to him only. Let me get to my notes real quick. So before week 13, he had a 23.6% target share and a 35.5% first read share, which is great. Week 12 had the second highest air yards. Week 13, 12 targets, 38% target share, 8 receptions, 104 yards, and 1 touchdown. I believe he's the only wide receiver leading up to Monday to get over 100 yards this week. Worst matchup is the Dolphins. It's a division game, but they are home. Saints don't give up a lot of points, but giving up the 5th most receiving touchdowns to wide receivers. Then he's got Jacksonville and Patriots are average matchups for points allowed to wide receivers. Plus, they are home versus the Patriots, too. But this guy has big play ability. He's a wide receiver 1 for a team, and I'm only starting him in my flex if Tyrod Taylor is playing. So I see this like, dude, you picked up a flex player, a wide receiver 1 flex player who has big play potential off of waivers. Like, the rest of your team should be set. Throw this guy in here, and he can have games like this if he's getting like 12 targets a game. There's no one else to throw the ball to.
He was a 2nd round pick, dude. And just last year by Shane Steichen. What'd you say?
From Texas.
That's just crazy, man. Shane Steichen, who I love, was just like, yeah, fuck this. 1 year, man. But yeah, I think 6+ targets. So he's increasing targets every single week. The draft capital's there. He looks amazing. He just does not catch the ball. And right now, I mean, dude, he's actually. I don't know. Maybe that trade was opened his eyes to what reality could be for him. But yeah, at home versus Miami, they are. I think they're still good against the pass. Everybody just runs the ball on them. So look for Brees Hall to get 1,000 rushing attempts. At Jacksonville and then at New Orleans. Jacksonville's kind of hit and miss. They have one good cornerback, but I think it's a slot cornerback, so that could be okay. At New Orleans gonna be great, and then at home versus New England, it's like he had 2 points versus New England. I don't know, man. Christian Gonzalez isn't stopping what's his name right now. Who are the New England Patriots going against?
The Giants. I'm like looking at it.
Oh yeah, Darius Slayton. I was thinking Darius Slayton might have a tough game, but hey, I think he's getting shadowed by Christian Gonzalez, and he got a touchdown.
Yeah, he just scored a touchdown.
So 2 of the next 3 next 4, okay. Miami kind of scares me a little bit, but the way Miami's been playing, they're probably going to be coming from behind, so that might not be too bad either.
Dude.
But yeah, Jason, I think that he is like an amazing flex player, full PPR. I mean, his ceiling is 30 points. His floor is like, 5 points. But hey, it's hard. It's things like this that like win you leagues, man. Taking risks on players like this, and then he could just get hot for like the last 4 games, and we're gonna be like, what about Adoni Mitchell over the offseason? He's gonna suck next year.
Yeah, and like the difference between like the Colts and when he played for the Colts and the Jets is like he's actually getting opportunities for the Jets. Where the Colts, he's behind Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman.
High round. They invested a lot of high round draft picks in those players, and he had one target the last 4 games with the Colts. So,
can you name a second or the wide receiver 2 for the Jets?
Well, I was going to say,
is it Lazard?
What'd you say, Mechie?
Oh, is Mechie for them now?
Yeah, well, Mechie was actually doing pretty well, but I think they picked up Mechie from like Houston or something, right?
They did, like in a trade.
Yeah.
Dude, Drake May to Kyle Williams for a 33-yard touchdown.
Well, Kyle Williams, man, he's got two big touchdowns this year.
I had high hopes for that guy.
I know, man. I know. Me too. All right, Jason. Here's the start for me, and I don't understand, dude. I think he almost made my waiver wire. I checked the waiver wire. This fool is only like 56% owned. I'm like, I've been starting this guy in my dynasty for like 3 weeks, maybe a month in a row, because running backs are so bad in that league. But hey, man, you might be turned off by this because of the matchup. But let me give you some confidence in Kyle Monangai, and he should be started, man. Flex in all leagues. I've been benefiting from it. Like 20 plus points in 2 of the last 4, maybe. He has seen more than half of Chicago's running back rushes in back-to-back games. 60%, 55%. Dude, Chicago's defense is actually playing well, so it's giving Monangai more opportunities. Saw just 1 target in those games. So, hey, Swift is still the pass-catching running back. This fool needs touchdowns, but he's got a rushing touchdown in 4 straight games. And that is his role on this offense, is like the tough run, short yardage back. Green Bay allows the 6th most rushing touchdowns over the last 3 games, 1.3 per game. So this guy's got 4 rushing touchdowns in the last 4 games, and now he gets to go against the 6th most rushing touchdown defense. They're allowing the 9th most rushing attempts over the last 3 games at 29.3. The Bears average the 2nd most rushing attempts on the year and the most over the last 3 games at 37 per game. So we're looking at a minimum of probably 30 rushing attempts. It's going to be over the average. And he's getting, 50% of that? So we're looking at 14, 15 rushing attempts. Chicago has been moving the ball. I assume he's going to get some short yardage, touchdown or red zone carries. Over and under for the game is at 44.5. That's not great. With Chicago getting 6.5 points, I don't like that either. So they're saying that Green Bay is going to be up by a lot and Monangai might not get used. But, dude, Chicago's been hitting these people in the face every time. They've been like huge underdogs almost every game for like 6 weeks. And look what they did against Philadelphia. So I'm not taking this matchup and being afraid. I'm actually starting Kyle Monangai still in my flex, Jason. And if you're in a standard league, he is, I'd say he's almost a running back too, because running backs are so bad this year. I mean, 15 attempts on Chicago right now with the goal line backs. Maybe standard leagues, running back 2, but definitely, man, it flex in both options. Leagues.
If this guy is getting like 15 carries, I think he's got to be in your lineup. Because that offensive line for the Bears have been like great. Their yards before contact is like one of the best in the league. And heading into that Philadelphia game in my episode, I was like, the matchup was just like, it was too good. I was like, dude, you could start Swift and Monangai this week against Philadelphia because their offensive line has just been dominating when it comes to the run game. If this could like stay close, Monangai could freaking tear it up.
And I mean, how do you slow down that pass rush for Green Bay? You run the ball right at Micah Parsons over and over again. So I assume, because I mean, they've got Valentine and they've got Bullard. So they got two good cornerbacks, just like the Eagles did. So I assume they're going to run the ball twice as much as they're going to throw the ball. And then you look at the average, for rushing attempts against at 30, they're averaging 37. So somewhere in between 30 and 37 rushing attempts, divide that by 2 and give Monangai some red zone carries. Yeah, I like it a lot, Jason. So don't be afraid to start calling Monangai. It upset me when I was doing I did work for my waiver wire show, Jason. Then I had to drive home and shit went down. Anyways, I was surprised by his starting rate. Could not believe it. All right, dude. Christian Watson, Jason, is next for you. I'm going to move this down. Here we go.
Yeah, I threw this guy in there because he was on my bench this week. I was like looking at the matchups. I was like, he's got bad matchups across the floor. Like,
I started him.
I
started him.
I was like, well, dude, I was like, off of that cornerback wide receiver matchup, I was like, dude, he's got bad matchups. And I was like, I'll just start RJ Harvey, which,
touchdown.
Worked out, but still, I was like, I think he goes up there and he puts up 20 points, right? Target shares of 33 and 36% over the last 2 games and averaging 16 points per game over the last 3 games. He averages a team high 56.6 receiving yards since returning from injury in week 8 and is 12.3 fantasy points and 19% target share since Tucker Kraft's season-ending injury leads all Packers receivers. He's had a bad matchup versus the Broncos in week 15 if Patrick Surtain covers him. 2 of the next 3 games, he plays the Bears, who give up the 9th most points to wide receivers, and Ravens in week 17, who give up the 10th most fantasy points to wide receivers. This guy is a good flex play from here on out.
That's exactly what I put him in. I think we were half PPR, and I was like, dude, give me Christian Watson. I've been telling you I don't know if I told you to trade for him, but he's been on the waiver wire show. Like, you got to pick this guy up as like my top wide receiver pickup for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And with Tucker Kraft gone, he is the jump ball guy. Dontavian Wicks did surprise me. Romeo Doubs had the best matchup. So I thought Romeo Doubs was going to get all the targets. But now this is starting to look like last year Green Bay Packers when you don't know who the hell is going to score a touchdown. But I do think ever since he played with every time he plays with Jordan Love and they're both healthy, Christian Watson, I'd like to know how many touchdowns he has in X amount of games because it is quite often. I think that's probably the safest bet on the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and this guy averages like 2 deep balls a game. Jordan Love's going to try to throw it deep to Christian Watson every game.
Hell yeah. So, hey, Christian Watson. So that's Kyle Monangai, Christian Watson, both like great flex options. And they're just like, they're like 50% owned, man, 50 to 60% owned, not starting, owned. I mean, it's like they're like in the 20s or 30s as far as starting. So you guys need to get back on this shit. All right, Jason. Last one for me. And this is a start. All right. So Jared Goff, we told you to trade for him because of his schedule. A couple times, actually. And when we did our schedule special, we kept on bringing this guy up because of all the dome games he had coming up. He has ranked as a top 10 quarterback in 3 of his last 4 games. Across the first 8 games, he only did that once. So he's the opposite of Lamar Jackson right now. He's hitting a stride where Lamar Jackson's hitting his all-time low. St. Brown likely out. So I think that to me is what was really scaring people, especially with Ragnow didn't pass his fucking physical. All right. So that pissed me off. As a Jahmyr Gibbs owner, I was like, holy shit. We're getting Ragnow back, man. The center for this team would be huge. They did not pass the physical. So, hey, we got Amon-Ra Brown out, and we've got Ragnow not coming back. So I think Goff owners might be a little hesitant to start him. Now, versus, who are they going? Oh, yeah. Games without Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff. I think it's only 2 games. He's averaging 307 yards. He had like a 300 he almost had like a 40-yard game, and he had like a 250-yard game. But he had 4 touchdowns in that in one game and 3 touchdowns in the other game. So he's averaging 3.5 touchdowns per game in those without St. Brown.
That's crazy.
Dallas is allowing the most passing yards this season, over 3,200 already. 9th most over the last 3. So even when their defense has taken a step up, they're still good up like top 10 passing yards because that offense of theirs is making people keep up. Dallas allowing the most passing touchdowns at 28 with only 5 interceptions. Dude, Deron Bland, good. The front 7's playing a lot better for Dallas, but dude, that back end still sucks. 5th most touchdowns over the last 3. So they're still top 5 in touchdowns given up. They're giving up 2 touchdowns a game. The over and under for this game, dude. This is what we're chasing here. 53.5. Dallas is getting 3 points. So they think that it's going to be a close game, super high scoring. Jared Goff, in his 2 games without Amon-Ra St. Brown, has been insane, like 20-plus fantasy points in those games. So Dallas, even though their defense is better, they're still top 10 giving up yards and touchdowns to quarterbacks. I don't care. It's in a dome, right? It's at Dallas, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So you got to start Jared Goff this week. Don't think too hard about the bullshit that's going on with him.
Yeah, these numbers right here are the score from the Cowboys-Eagles game and the Cowboys-Chiefs game.
Cheese.
Cheese. I was pretty happy about it. I was like, I got to show them off. And I was like, well, let's see who we're playing next week. And I'm like, God damn, we're playing the Lions? I was like, dude, Jared Goff is going to go off. It's like, man, the Cowboys just got a like crazy schedule at the end of the year. But at least we got 2 wins. But yeah, I'm expecting Jared Goff to go off this week against the Cowboys. And that's a crazy stat that without his best wide receiver, he still puts up numbers. I think last week with Jameson Williams taking over that role that he still scored 20 points.
Yeah, and well, what I'm thinking is Jameson Williams is going to be, top 15 wide receiver probably. And then, but dude, Jahmyr Gibbs is filling in. Like he's getting so many targets. It's insane. So they're just going to throw it to more to Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams. They're still crazy athletes and great targets for fantasy points. So there's still depth there without Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And even Isaac Tesla is a red zone threat. So
yeah, you got a touchdown on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if we did like the most unlikely smashes of the week, Isaac Tesla was going to be one of them. So, all right. I think that's it, right, Jason?
I think that's it.
All right, man. That is the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you got some players that you think that you are undecided about to start or sit, please comment down below. Jason, what is that behind you? 21, 24, 31, 28. Those are 2 3-point games.
Yeah, that's the Eagle game against the Cowboys, and that's the Chiefs game against the Cowboys.
Did you just write that?
No, I had it up since.
Oh my God.
Friday.
All right. Hey, Jason, please send us out.
Yeah, first off, I want to say to Small Turd, Mr. Jamie. He wished me good luck. He's like, hey, good luck. I'm like, dude, I'm out of the playoffs, man. Don't need to give me that, man. I was like, I see what you're doing. You're trying to hype me up, but I'm hyped down, dude. I'm too down. I'm hyped down. But anyway, GG this week. All right, so coming up this week, we got Tyler's world famous wide receiver quarterback matchup. If you want to win this week, make sure you watch it. And then when you watch it, like it, subscribe, hit that alert button so you get it every single week. And then we got our Vegas questions coming out the 2 days after that on Friday morning. I'll talk to you in that episode. Deuces.
Hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription. By God, please. This is the Fantasy Red Zone. We appreciate you.